Hello, everybody. Jacky here, and today I'm interviewing a very good personal friend of mine, Saru, who is a dedicated Persona fan.
How you guys doing? My name is Matt Saratari, but you guys can just call me Sar for short.
Yes, and one thing we've known about the Persona series is that it's pretty popular. And of course, it's a spin off of the Shin Megami Tensei series. Did I pronounce that correctly?
No, it's Tensei.
Tensei. Okay, that's why I asked. Okay, Shin Megami Tensei series. The SMT series is it's abbreviated as. And of course, considering that Persona is a spin-off, it can attract newcomers, and because it's attracting newcomers, it can basically with each new installment and whatnot. And there's been some changes based on the history that I found out that it was changed when it was first originally brought over to the United States. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, considering that it's branching out for to bring in newcomers, what do you think makes it appealing enough to draw in those newcomers?
Well, what Persona does that makes itself differentiated from the SMT series is that while yes, they're all JRPGs and they all have kids in high school, sometimes the kids are a little bit older, but mostly it's usually kids in high school. What they do is that Persona, as of right now, has really mostly focused on kids in high school to like some going into the cusp of adulthood, maybe being in seniors and juniors, but usually you have soft freshmen, mostly sophomores, and then maybe a junior and a senior as composed of the main cast. The older games were a little bit different than that. You had mostly freshmen and sophomores and one or two adults actually. But in these, and from 3 to 5, that's usually what they have composed it. I mean, it says first year, second year, third year, but I'm using these terms so people can, actually understand what I mean. Like first year in first year for Japan is freshman, second year is sophomore, third year is junior. Sometimes it can be a senior, depending on what high school you go at. Some high schools you can finish in 3 years, some you can finish in 4 years, so they have fourth years as well. But 4 years as well in Japan. But yeah, so it really varies, but it really focuses mainly on high school.
Mm-hmm.
As now, people have been asking for the series to move to college, but right now it focuses mainly on high school and you interacting. Another thing is that in every other SMT game, the demon that you acquire are called demons. In Persona, they call the demons you pick up shadows. They become personas, and they become like rebirths, and the personas are like the good spiritual versions of a shadow.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another major difference. Another one, another big difference. Well, depending on which game you're playing, I would say, but I mean, this could be a matter of opinion, but I think this is pretty much agreed upon. Persona's a lot easier compared to the other SMT games. It's a lot easier.
Mm.
The difficulty, it really has been stepped back. Even Persona 3, which is a challenging game, but not something that's gonna kill you. People do hate the answer because the game actually, if you didn't notice, if you play Persona 3 FE, the answer is that if the game actually defaults to hard mode, and people didn't like that it was too hard, and I honestly didn't mind that because someone who's playing Persona 5 on hard right now, so that's whatever. And I actually beat the answer on my first try without even knowing it was set to hard.
Mm.
So you know, in Persona 3, so it's whatever to me in my opinion because honestly, hard mode in Persona is just everything does more damage, and you will die unless you're a moron. You will die if you're being stupid. That's basically what hard mode is in Persona.
It's Dark Souls mode, basically.
Nah, no, not Dark
I'm
Souls mode.
kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah, no. We got game reviewers running around calling freaking Sonic Mania and Crash insane, Dark Souls when they're not. But it's just that's what it is. And another thing I would want to note is that okay, gameplay wise, it's they all been turn based, so that's not much of a difference. The gameplay is still the same with turn based. Um, Persona 5 just added press turns. What is another thing I could bring up here that's a major difference? Let me see. Um, Oh yeah, oh yeah. The biggest one. I can't believe I forgot to mention this one. Is that you have social links. Well, now Confidant to Persona 5, but social links, and these were the way they had Psycho did. In the all the older Persona games and the SMT games, it's usually just a side quest, and usually your relationships and things like that with characters would be built throughout the main story and sometimes side content. You didn't have to do like some meet them at a specific area to do like a schedule, a scripted event or something like that. No, you actually had the story, the character development was done within the story itself.
Of
So,
course.
so you have the story, you have social links, and that's the thing that's really been popular. Some people have tried saying, "Oh, it's just a white down dating simulator, it's a waifu simulator, it's a visual novel, yada yada yada," things like that. And social links are very from being really good, sometimes being pretty crappy. Um, you know. But usually in the past, so with social links in Persona 3 and 4, it usually was just, more experience to level up personas of that Akana. Same, but in five with caveats, it's that, but you also have the ability to get special abilities. You get special abilities and special perks that actually really help you. For example, if you get up to I rank 6 or 9 with some of your party members in Persona 5, people they can take a hit for you, and
Mm-hmm.
hit for you if it's going to kill you. The interesting thing about that is that if you have special items on them that allow them to survive attack critical fatal blows that were these with 1 HP, that ends up you can end up having them take a hit for you, but they still end up being alive. Keep in mind it's random, but that's one of the abilities. Another one I like a lot is with the tower, where you can get a not on a preemptive strike attack. You can also open fire on an enemy, and you actually get easy free damage on them with your gun attack. So with the gun, it's actually very useful.
Mm.
So but one thing. So social link is a major aspect, major difference to it. They're a lot of fun, and with some social links, it really, to be honest with you, it really varies. Like in Persona 3, they really enhanced the plot, and they expanded on the characters, your main party and the character that you met in your social links. So in 3, they didn't really. The only way you was going to get characters to be flushed out in 3 is if you did social links. No, you didn't need to do that. You actually got your character development within the story. If you did social links, you got more, and you maybe had their personas evolve or whatever. Um, Another main thing with Persona 3 is that one criticism to it is that with some of the girl social links, the characters start to randomly fall in love with you when
Mm-hmm.
maybe it doesn't lead up to that actually. Persona 4 does a better job with this, and so does Persona 5 do a better job with this.
Glad to hear that, actually.
But with Persona 5 and somewhat Persona 4, but it was only with one social link. But with mostly Persona 5, you can pick and choose. I want to be friends with this person. I want to be romantically invested with this person, yada yada yada. So you can pick and choose in Persona 5, which is great. But I still like the social links in Persona 3 because they were optional and they just really expanded on the plot of the game and not actually, you know, you know, you know, made you to where you do the social things to where you could unlock where you had character development. Now in Persona 4, what the problem with social links actually what they did fix the romantic writing when it came to social links, but what they didn't fix is that the only way the characters actually get flushed out at all is if you do the social links. You have to do social links. If you don't, you're really not going to learn much about the cast in Persona 4. And also, it also does open up some continuity errors and some, blatant contradictions with the characters and characters as well that kind of make no sense. Persona 4 has a whole host of problems regarding its writing that I don't want to get into because it's about 5, not Persona 4. But
Mm.
it really did a bad job, and they kind of used the social things as lazy ways to put the character development. Like, okay, the character is going to get developed, but you have to meet them at a certain area to learn more about them.
Yep.
When no, you're an RPG. Your story is that. The story is that. I don't. If I'm playing like Final Fantasy X, I don't have to meet freaking Yuna in a specific place to expand on my relationship with the character.
Well,
That comes within the story. You know,
right.
and it doesn't help that because like in the updated version of Persona 4 Golden, I don't know about all the extra content added, but I do know that they do give you a social link for the major villain of that story, and if you do master social link out, you can you know not denounce him as the killer or whatever and things like that. But one thing about that is it's once again hiding character development behind the social link when in the original, because I actually just recently, not like what, roughly a year ago, a few months ago, I beat Persona 4 on Expert and did all the quests and everything like that.
Hmm.
Uh, I beat that the killer in Persona 4. I'm gonna. Are you a stickler for spoilers, or you just want me to go ahead and say who it is?
Hmm. Well, I'm gonna obviously forget at some point anyway, cause
Okay.
I'm still gonna go back to play it anyway. So,
Okay. The
yeah, we'll
guy.
go. We'll add in spoilers, but not too much.
Yeah. Well, just with this, I'm not really gonna get into anything with five, and besides like maybe stuff you already know. But the killer is Adachi, and
I knew that part.
okay, yeah, it's Adachi. I already did. Why was I saying killer? I was saying I had to give myself for no reason. Adachi, okay, Adachi. He's the killer, but he really doesn't have any character. And I think I was in this one Persona Discord when we was talking about it, and someone just said he's a guy with a gun, and that's all his character. He's crazy, and I'm just kind of like, you know what? Yeah, that's actually right. And resolution for how he did everything and the motivation was kind of flat because the guy just seems to be completely unhinged.
I
Uh,
agree.
I I will say this though. I will say this, and this irritated me to hell. He is fucking pathetic when it comes like when we actually get that boss fight. He is a fucking pushover to compare to. I won't spoil who it is, but he's a fucking pushover compared to the other guy in Persona 5. He's a pushover. At least the other guy in Persona 5 actually gave you a fight. This guy,
Are we
he got
talking like the first boss in Persona 5?
no, 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 no. How far did you get?
I'm at the part where I'm dealing with the mob boss. I forgot what his name was
Oh,
again.
Kanashiro.
What was that again?
Kanashiro.
Kanashiro, right. I was just making sure
All right,
because
Kanashiro. All right, yeah, you'll get a little wrinkle about who I'm talking about, but I won't specify.
okay.
I know, but I said you have already seen him in the plot before, but
Uh,
I ain't gonna tell you who it is. But yeah, basically that guy is better than Adachi in every aspect. Also, there's better writing for that character as well, which is great. But you know, yeah, his boss was extremely disappointing. I consider it the worst fight in the series. Like, it's such a bad fight. I'm like, are you serious? This is embarrassing. Like Persona 4 was an easy game already. The game was extremely easy, but that was like extremely insulting in my opinion.
right. And of course, based on what there's differences between 5 and its, well, I guess you could say it's prequels, if you will. The other
Yeah,
with 5 in comparison to 5, we obviously know its appeal and whatnot and what's to be expected and such. The social links, whether lazily put or not, they are worth it in the end. I've actually
yeah.
gotten some.
They actually do a better job with actually having actual character development, character arcs in Persona 5.
Yep.
Persona 4 didn't do that, but you have actual character arcs in Persona 5, which is great.
Yep. Okay,
You're
so
going through Makoto's character arc right now, which is great. I really like her character arc.
right.
So
But
you know,
based on
but
all this, would you I hate to cut you off, but the thing is, I'm sorry, I apologize, but would you recommend Persona 5 to newcomers basically?
Ab- Absolutely, yes, I would. It's interesting. People think that the Persona games are connected. No, they're not. They're interconnected. What that means is that there's Easter eggs and references that put them all together. If you actually look around, you'll see it. But
Hmm.
nothing to where you need to play 3 and 4 to get understand Persona 5. You really don't. They're very separate games, and I would recommend Persona 5 for newcomers because I feel like it has some of that challenging gameplay and 3 has balance. Is a very beautiful looking game. It's really well structured in what they're doing and everything like that. It's well structured, and
Definitely.
so I would recommend Persona 5.
Of course. And of course, I know that 3 is definitely a dark game. Death is a big theme in the game with a lot of the
Yeah,
characters.
because the game is overly edgy. No, it's metaphors. It's metaphors that are dealing with death and suicide. I
Yes.
think I think with four there was something about friendship. I'm guessing. I guess it was just friendship. I guess because honestly, I'll save it for one of the questions coming up. For the to talk about four. But okay, what I
Now
think
that
any other next question?
yes, I was about to actually ask that. Which of the Persona games do you consider to be your most favorite? We'll start with that one.
Um, I still need to wrap up five. Goddamn boss is kicking my ass. But five is up there, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I need to still play with the other Persona games, but I did play. I played them, but I haven't finished them.
Mm.
Persona One is really fun. Don't play the PS1 version. Play the PSP remake. Persona Two, Innocent Sin's a lot of fun. Really like the storyline in that game. For what I played of it on the PS1 emulator, it was a lot of fun. Uh, Internal Punishment from what I heard is amazing actually. I
Mm.
have to play those games and finish them, but my favorite one still is Persona 3, and I would say Persona 5 is just right behind it.
Okay, that's cool. And which is your least favorite of the series there?
All right, we finally got to this question. I'm ready. I'm so freaking excited. All right, my least favorite of the series is Persona 4.
Hmm. Because of the theme of friendship, it's not as good.
Yeah, it's just that there's a lot of problems with Persona 4, but let's start with first of all the difficulty of the game. The game is freaking neutered. Even like the Persona, I play. I have the PS2 version. I have not played Golden, but apparently they found a way to make an easy game even easier, which is hilarious. I don't even know how you do that. That's impressive, Atlas. Good job, Atlas. But the game is just so dumbed down. It's ridiculous. The bosses just don't do much damage outside like maybe like Shadow Yuki Code. But you bring something that's resistant to fire, you're not gonna die. So whoopee who, you know. So and just that they make it to where every character just seems to have busted shit, and it seems like they didn't really balance any of it. You know, it didn't hurt. There was actually some crippling game breaking bugs. There's a bug with Shadow Namatame that if a character dies, you can't revive them. So yeah, that was a bug that was fixed in Golden, by the way. That was a game breaking bug, really crippling bug that actually was a lot of fun to have. Um, you know, but it's just that yeah, you can't go wrong with any character in Persona 4. My final party at the end of the game, if I remember correctly, was me, Chie, Teddy, and Yukiko. Yeah, that was the party. I had Kanji for a bit, but Kanji wasn't. I don't like how Kanji's too limited. Chie was a freaking damage nuke, and Yukio was a magic nuke for me. And Teddy was like healing, was a backup healer, and just also has crazy ass ice attacks as well. So that was my main party. Uh, I didn't like him. Nato is Nato. She's pretty shitty, really bad. She's really bad in vanilla. She's better in Persona 4 Golden. Uh, and Yosuke, I have always wanted to use Yosuke, but he becomes pretty worthless early on as you get when you get Chie, and Chie just kind of does everything he does, but better. Like, but only difference between those two characters is that Chie doesn't learn a bunch of ice magic, but she learns a lot of good physical attacks. But physical attacks are really busted in Persona 4, so you really kind of you kind of don't need to really heavily overly use magic as you want. You don't really need to have a lot of magic, but it's good to have some magic. But Chie would just do so much damage. There would be times where she can do 1,000 damage per round for God's sakes by just buffing her up ridiculously with just freaking charge and freaking attack up
Damn.
or charging. But the difficulty is just it's just boom. The dodge is a terrible fight. The bosses are just freaking buff, smash, buff. You buff, debuff, smash. Yes, we can argue that in Persona 5, but shoot, there's at least some challenging there. There's at least some challenge. You know, that's the main problem. Next thing, the game's overall tone. The game tries way too hard to be funny, to a point to where it gets annoying. There was some jokes in Persona 3, but they were far and few between. Persona 4 is too loaded with them. They even have a joke near the end of the game after they beat the final boss, and I'm kind of like, why would you throw that joke there, guys? You just kind of killed any moment of success that I had and enjoy by that crappy joke. You know, the game tries way too hard to be funny, and
Some jokes are good though, at least.
yeah, some jokes are good. And early on, the game early on is pretty funny, but then like that mid part, once you get like to the summer camp arc, and
Yeah, I
it
remember
gets
that.
really bad. It gets really bad. It gets really cringy, and I'm just like really annoying. And Teddy's extremely annoying. Good ass character, but he's extremely fucking annoying. I used to like him when I first played the game. I got the bad ending this time around when I beat it on Expert and I got the true ending. I realized that Teddy's really freaking annoying. You know, you know. So the story, you obviously have heard of the story. You know, yeah, you was just super perfect, and it's just super perfect. But what I didn't like is just like it's just so lighthearted. Everything needs to be a laugh. Everything needs to be a joke. And people say, well, there are serious parts. Yeah, but they don't go far enough. I mean, there's still people to this day who think Kanji's gay when no, he just has this problem with having a sensitive side. That's all that whole entire situation was. But I didn't have to question the art directors, and the people who made that fucking Shadow Kanji. If he's supposed to just be a guy who just has who's rejecting his feminine side, why the hell are you portraying him to be a freaking homosexual? It makes no sense, Atlas.
I know, right?
So I'm just like, yeah, the portrayal throws people off when the writing tells you what it is, but the portrayal throws people off, you know, and other arts are just kind of, oh, you go, I rely on Chie too much, and you goes like, I am overstressed, I need to be tough, some of these things are just kind of them whining a little bit too much.
Yep.
So it's just kind of like their character arcs kind of get resolved very quickly. They don't really have these very long arcs, and I really feel fully satisfied like it is in Persona 5.
Hmm.
You know, it ends too quickly,
Yep.
and there's a plot hole that they still haven't fixed to this day regarding Yosuke as to why one of the characters in the story hates him. It's really badly explained, and the resolution for it of, well, I don't care if she hates me, I deserve it. So it's like a really bad resolution to that plot point. Uh,
Well, at least he forgot about her, for crying out loud. At least it's done.
Yeah, Yukiko and Chie's social links, by the way, have multiple freaking contradictions in them. It's kind of hilarious how they contradict themselves,
Oh, really?
and those are fun. I maxed both of them out, so I know. So people will be like, "You didn't max them out." I'm like, "Yes, the hell I did." So don't even give me that crap. I had all my links maxed out for everybody in my party, so don't even give me that nonsense. I maxed out Chie, I maxed out Yukiko, I maxed out Teddy. Well, Teddy's given to you practically, but I still maxed out Teddy. So yeah, So I maxed out my whole entire party, my links from all my party.
That's good.
So so I even maxed out Nato, and Nato's freaking garbage. You know,
Mm.
but Kanji, he has his character arc. He has a gentle side, but then he just becomes a loudmouth moron who just yells at everything. That's pretty much him. A certain character in Persona 5 kind of took his lunch and fucking ate it and showed him how to actually do that character correctly. You already know who I'm talking about.
Ryuji, right?
Yes, I am. Yes, sir.
I like both characters, by the way.
Yeah, but I mean, he's not horrible. He's just But Nato is, admittedly so, is a good character, but I feel like she comes off as very pretentious, and she's kind of always right, and I kind of don't like that. I like her, but she comes off as extremely pretentious.
Yeah, also rather arrogant in her own way, to be
Yeah,
exact.
and that kind of doesn't never really get resolved. It's just kind of like a part of the character. It's like, I am awesome. I am the young detective genius, and I'm really awesome. And I'm just kind of like, damn. I mean, even her socially, yeah, she's been challenged and things like that. But really, her socially is her pretty much getting led on a goose chase by by her either her grandfather or her dad, who used to be a police officer. So it was just her being led around on a goose chase, and it's
Right.
kind of fucking embarrassing how she took it all so damn serious when she got trolled by her fucking grandfather. Yes, her whole entire social link is some goddamn fucking idiotic freaking puzzle that she's taking so damn serious when it's very apparent that it's fucking trolling. And when you actually read between the lines, it's heavily trolling. You know, um, you know. Yukiko, I already talked about Yukiko. She bitches and Yukiko and Rise, they bitch and moan for majority of their fucking social link, and then realize you're fucking awesome, and I'm gonna go back to, doing what I was saying I wasn't gonna do at the start of my social link, which I find hilarious because both characters say, I don't want to work again, I don't want to be an idol anymore, and then they go back to doing what they did and then they shut the fuck up, which is hilarious. And it's been majority of their fucking social links complaining about nothing to just go back to what they were doing exactly. And that is an example of the status quo is God, if you're
Damn.
wondering. That's what I call that shit. That's the status quo is God. But Teddy, I already mentioned. Teddy's just is an annoying freaking pervert that's really irritating as shit. He's kind of like the worst kind of pervert, and I used to like that character, and I kind of now regret that. Regret that now. Last character to talk about, I talked about Nato. Uh,
Right.
wait, yeah, and I think I talked about everybody. So no, I talked about everybody. So overall, the characters in Persona 4 are pretty below average. I like Chie. Oh, I forgot about talking about Chie. Chie is also the second best character in the game. She's the only one that has a pretty decent character arc, but it ends too quickly to where she's now just kind of hangs out in the background, just kind of chimes in every now and then, and maybe talk shit about Yosuke every now and then. That's about it. So Chie and Nato were like, great characters, and it's not waifu wars and this shit and that. No, I think they were like some of the better written characters in the damn story, which is kind of sad.
Yeah.
That's what that is. So there's that. But overall, to get with these characters, it's just jokes after jokes after jokes after jokes after jokes that are just
Right.
not funny, and it just gets irritating after a while. And even when you get to these shadows and realizing this and that, it just feels so underwhelming. But I think the dumbest moment in Persona 4 and the biggest plot twist. This has to be the second dumbest plot twist. Well, no, well, it's not with Adachi throwing people into TV. That's not really the plot twist. I shouldn't say that. I should say the biggest ass pull. I'm gonna say it's the biggest ass pull. This is almost as done as Star Ocean 3's controversial ending. If you know what I'm talking about, if you ever play Star Ocean 3, you know what I'm talking about, Jack. This part right here is so stupid, it ruins everything.
Wait a minute.
I originally got the bad ending because I did something differently in this situation.
Oh, okay. This is for
Now,
Persona 5, right?
Persona 4.
Oh, okay.
Now, I know we've been on this question for a while, but I really need to go into detail about this. The music's fine, by the way. The music's fine. Graphics is fine. I will say the location's kind of really small. I understand
Yep.
you're in the boonies, but it's really small. Like, really fucking small. So it's like, you've seen everything. You're kind of like, so after a while, there were points where I really did get bored actually in Persona 4 because the fucking area, the fucking location is so damn small. At least in Persona 5, you're going to different fucking places where you do your social links for God's sakes. You're not in the same damn 5 locations.
I
There's
know,
like
right?
freaking places you can go to in Persona 5. You have seen the map, dude. I have gotten all the areas. It's freaking massive. Even the places where you're only there just to go on dates and stuff. I'm like, at least you have somewhere to go to, and it's not the same 5 areas. You
Yep.
know, So that's that. But now with Nanako, she gets thrown to the TV. You take out Shadow Nanatame, yada yada yada, and you have to pretty much pretty much Natsu's on her deathbed and she's gonna die, and everyone's freaking out, everyone's yelling, getting all angry and shit, and they all become freaking murderers. They're like, you know what? Let's throw Namatami to the TV and have Shadows deal with him. And I honestly thought that was a good ending, but I got the bad ending. And what happens when you do that is that Nanako dies, and you all feel like, yeah, we avenged Nanako. You're the reason why Nanako died. They feel like Nanatami is the reason why Nanako dies. I will explain what actually really happens with that, but you get the bad ending, and it then just says, okay, you survive a tough winter, the fall still stays, and it's yellow, and you all go home, and you about to leave because you're there, Inaba's up, so you're heading back home. And they all say bye. In hindsight, I was that was such an underwhelming ending. I was like so pissed off. I'm like, what the fuck? I sat there through fucking dialogue pressing X, and this is all you fucking give me? Are you fucking serious?
Hmm.
Are you fucking serious? So yeah, but the true ending, the good happy ending, the awesome ending. Yeah, basically, you're in
Right.
for some Deus Machina. So basically, you don't throw him in the TV. You hold off on it. and you actually start to really think about it, then you start to realize that it could be maybe a police officer, it could be maybe a Dachi. And apparently, just out of nowhere, Nanako revives and she's back and she's fine. And everyone's like, "It's a miracle!" And I'm just kind of like, "Oh my fucking god! Don't tell me you fucking did that." So yes, they did medical revival bullshit. They
Yeah.
went, and yes, Alice pretty much went for the most cheapest shock value you can go for. That pissed me off royally. It was so fucking bad, and people always talk over you and sidestep that point of Persona 4 because even diehard Persona 4 fans knows Nanako randomly getting revived was dumb when she should have stayed dead, and that could have made the story. That could have made the story actually interesting and made the story truly dark instead of picking and choosing when it wasn't dark. You know.
Yeah. But anyway,
But yeah, that's overall that's what you have with Persona 4, a very game with a very mediocre plot, with mediocre characters, with really bad with awful difficulty. Yes, you control your own party members, but at the end of the day, it's not really worth it when you have to endure really bad writing.
mm,
But all right, and I already talked about the character development being locked away by social links, but you already know about that. So there you go. I hope I didn't go on too long to explain Persona 4, but there you go.
yeah, it is. It was a really long explanation, but hey, what was I supposed to do? I mean, it is answering the question and what you think about the series,
Yeah.
as well
Now,
as you giving some insight. Because I have not entirely played 4, but I will actually forget some things, so that
yeah.
makes
Oh,
it
by
better.
the way,
So it's fine.
while the translation is good in for uh the English voice acting in Vanilla Persona 4 is great, but then gets worse and worse as the series goes on. I just want to say that right now.
It
But
does. It wait the dubbing.
yeah, the dubbing gets worse and worse as the series goes on.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I'm on to the next question.
Right. I personally like the dubbing for the most part, especially a lot of the people. It's pretty iconic for me. But anyway,
I,
the next
Persona 3 is my favorite English dub of the series. Even I like Persona 5's dub, but man, Persona 3 is so good. But go on.
yes. Now moving on to the next question. This is something that I think you may know more about than me. But what are your thoughts on Atlas as a company?
Well, with recent developments, I was really upset at Atlas regarding the recent announcement of the Dancing All Night games and everything like
Yeah,
that.
that's stupid shit. But hey,
Yeah,
the
I
the
was
fighting
really,
games
but
were
this
cool
time
though, at least.
they redeemed themselves. They redeemed themselves and did the smartest thing they ever done that they didn't do during the Persona 4 era.
The
They made those games non-canon, and I'm like, all right, I don't hate them anymore.
I
So
apologize.
I'm actually looking forward to both those games now, since they're omitting story mode. They say there's gonna be something else there, but knowing Atlas, it's gonna be like maybe just like a free play mode or something like that. It's not gonna be anything they're trying to tell you is, but I'm happy that they're not gonna be non-canon. So I'm happy about that.
What
I don't
about
mind, I don't mind those. I don't mind the dancing all night games now since they're non-canon. But Atlas, my overall thoughts, but my thoughts is Atlas as a company, a young company that really hit it big with SMT and Persona. They really are making some crazy ass money now. They're really making great money. Have Intelligent Odyssey. They publish KOF, the KOF 14, KOF 13. Those games do very well for them as well. They really have some great IPs. But I feel like but I feel like they're becoming Amelia Darling to where they now feel like they can't do no wrong.
this is
Apple has
this
a habit of being extremely cheap, and you're like, well, what do you mean by that? Well, cheap in the idea is that now when they want to start making multiple products and IPs of their projects of these IPs, it gets lazy. They become very lazy. Now with Persona 5, I don't know about the assets and things like that. I will say that while I'm not saying that I'm gonna say Dancing All Night's gonna be great and happy and I'm excited, I will say that Dancing All Night. I hope it's not an asset refill like Persona 4 was, where it really basically lifted assets from Persona 4 and assets from Project Diva to make the game, which I don't really like. I understand using assets to make your game and build cores around it and things like that, but when you're making one by one, animations, that I also not really a fan of the animations I've seen so far. Persona 5, Dancing All Night, and Persona 3, Dancing All Night. I really love Persona 3 too. So the animations are extremely. I have to see better because the animations in Dancing All Night are really fucking bad,
d-
and the dancing's really fucking bad. I have not played the games, but I don't think I need to buy a Vita when I can YouTube one of the fucking songs in the game, and the characters are dancing off beat and off rhythm to the damn music. Which, by the way, how are you gonna make a music game when the character can't even fucking can't stay on fucking rhythm and stay on beat with the damn music?
Uh,
Like they're really way off beat. You actually just watch one of them, Jack. They're so off beat, it's hilarious. I'm like, does anyone in Alice actually know how to fucking dance?
the reason why I didn't is, well, I didn't really think of it, and I was more interested in playing the actual games in the franchise that interested me.
Yeah.
Also, this brings me to a follow-up question that I was actually trying to ask. I
Go
know they
ahead.
redeemed themselves by making Dancing All Night non-canon, but don't forget about the Persona 4 Arena games, as well as the update to it, Ultimax. Do you
Yeah,
Are those
yeah, yeah.
non-canon as well, or
Oh, we're gonna have to see. I hope it isn't, but it seems people are gonna whine and bitch because apparently people actually complain that they're getting rid of story mode, and but Apple's like, oh come on. I'm like, are you serious?
look?
I'm like, no. And he's like, oh, I want to learn more about. I think hard. Oh wait, I ain't gonna say that
Okay,
character. Oh, this character should. I want this character to get more character development and get flushed out more. So they should have story mode dancing all night. No, you should be asking for fucking DLC to Persona 5 and you want some goddamn character development.
yeah, but
You know,
but
go ahead.
okay, about the for Persona 4 as well as Ultimax, there's story mode in those games, correct?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
I played you most of Persona 4 Arena and Ultimates. I never finished them, but I know the full gist of what goes on.
Okay.
And basically,
Well,
it starts off pretty decently, but it's extremely long-winded. And honestly, if those were just RPGs, they would be better games within themselves. One person I said I know who plays a lot of fighting games. He's
uh,
a top UA player. You may have heard him. His name is Rakudo, and he's one of the best Bayman players actually. And he plays fighting games, and he was playing Persona 4 Arena, and he actually called it Persona 4 Arena story mode canon anime filler. He called it canon anime filler, and he hated the shit. But the problem with the story modes in Persona 4 is that it's extremely fucking long winded, and it's also kind of repetitive because basically you're mashing buttons just to figure out what happens next. The stories are extremely long winded. Yeah, there's some nice things that happen in both Arena and
okay.
Ultimax, but overall it's not good. And by the way, the ending to Ultimax
Wait, wait,
really
wait, wait.
doesn't.
Let's try to keep Ultimax spoiler free because I haven't
I'm just
exactly.
gonna say that. I'm just gonna say the ending of Ultimax actually doesn't even directly lead into freaking Persona 4 Dancing Online. So A plus right in there, Alice. Craig, congratulations right there.
It's
You know,
non-canon, basically.
I wouldn't want to say non-canon. It's just Alice can't write for shit. Because apparently, no, because Gordon Alice, that's canon. And also, Persona Q is also canon, but in their canon in the dumbest ways possible, and poor excuses just so Alice can cover their ass from because they feel like they need to find a season when they make side spin-off games. When you don't really have to, you just say non-canon. We just want to have some fun. Um, so Alice as a company, I think they did a great job though with Persona 5,
Hmm.
and they did good. He was like, all those spin-offs and everything helped Persona 5. I'm like, yeah, I get that, but it doesn't excuse them. And so I feel like, when it comes to when the chips are down, when it comes to making mainline SMT games and Persona games, they're making good games, but these spin-off games I have to question. I have to question all the third-party, products they be trying to sell you when they start making, merchandise and things like that for Persona. I mean, merchandise like bags and cups and shirts, all that stuff's fine. One of my friends actually won the Persona 5 NPC contest. She was actually one of the shadows you fight in the game, and she actually ended up winning best NPC. So shout outs to MCAT Cosplay. That's her name, MCAT Cosplay. Emily, you are awesome. Best on ever. Keep it up, girl. I love you. Uh, you know, um, so it's really half and half at the end of the day. I need to see more Persona Q2, which I'm not looking forward to because Persona Q is because Persona Q was a mitigated disaster. It was a really bad game. You see, if you thought Persona 4 was bad, nah. Persona Q told you to hold its beer. You know. Uh, I actually made a joke in the One Hell group I'm in regarding S&T, regarding Persona Q2, where and Persona Q, everyone makes fun of the game for being fan fiction and the characters being stereotypes. I actually did the same thing, but with the Persona 5 characters. Off the top of my head, I think I said for On, I love sweets. And that's gonna be your whole entire character. I said Persona the characters in Persona 5 and Persona Q2 are gonna be like this. On, I love sweets. Ryuji, god damn it. Morgana, oh Lady Ann is so beautiful. Makoto, oh my god, I don't know if I want to do this, guys. Futaba, I am a nerd. Worship me, bitches. and, and I don't remember all of them, but I think that's most of them. I can't remember all of them, but that was most of them, you know. So I felt like we're going to just be stereotypes. So I'm not looking forward to that game, but I want to wait for more information for Sonic U2. Dancing All Night. Not getting a story mode is a good thing, okay, but I gotta see will this be a quality product because I still have to play Dancing All Night itself, but and thankfully these Dancing All Night games are gonna be on PS4, but I still have to play Persona 4 Dancing All Night, but looking at the game, the quality, the graphics are really bad. The animations are really terrible. The music's really, really bad. Like, really, really fucking bad. Like, the remixes are really bad in Persona 4 Days Tonight. I heard some of the music for it here. So far, it's okay, but I want to see more. I want to hear more of it. And hear more of it before I give a verdict to what they're doing right in Persona 3 Dancing All Night and Persona 5 Dancing All Night. I hope I'm not talking too fast, but, it's really hot and cold. Hot and cold. So the hot part is basically when it comes to like making their mainline games and the games that people came here for, which is RPGs, and sometimes a fighting game every now and then that's not named Persona but King of Fighters. Atlas is great, but when it comes to this other shit, Atlas is really hasn't proven themselves to be really good at it just yet, and it's very disappointing. And just one more thing, I was talking about how Atlas being cheap. What I mean by cheap is that when it comes to like getting anime adaptations, they really go for the cheapest of the cheap and outsource to like really small companies, really cheap companies that do it on a cheap budget, and not actually someone that's actually not a company that's actually good. Like I'm just happy that Production IG is doing the animated cutscenes. If you're wondering, Production IG is doing the cutscenes for Persona 5. You didn't know that. Those are the people doing the animated cutscenes. That's not really a spoiler, Jack. That's kind of something I think you would like to know actually. Best thing about Persona about that is that you may know Production IG most famously for their work with Fully Cooley. So, I was really happy when they were doing the cutscenes. A1 Pictures did the anime cutscenes for Persona 4, and they were not very good. A1 Pictures also did Persona 4 Golden the anime, but some other company did Persona 4 the anime, and it wasn't that great, But Persona 4 Golden was super bad, and A1 Pictures is doing the Persona 5 anime. I bring this up because A1 Pictures, Digital has a nice, there's a part in his actual War Sucks video where he talks specifically about A1 Pictures and how they're made down as an anime. But real short version is that A1 Pictures is the king of outsourcing anime and not actually putting quality and effort into the shows. Their job is to get as many animes out every season. Just roughly last year, in the summer or fall, in the spring season, either the spring or fall season of anime, they released 14 fucking anime at the same time. I'm not kidding you, 14. Now I bring that up as background to bring up to tell you that they're doing the Persona 5 anime, and you can now see why I'm worried because you're not going to put time and effort to actually making it good, in my opinion. And I talked to someone in part of my anime Discord here. I'm a part of an anime Discord. It's not my anime Discord. I'm a part of one. And me and him talked about, like, look, man, this needs to be at least 24 episodes. If they try to shove this shit into 12 episodes, it's going to suck. We was talking about, like, he said, no, they really were serious about it. It need to be at least 30 to 50 episodes, maybe 60. We really were saying that's how, if you want to do a faithful adaptation of Persona 5 anime and not some bullshit, you just need at least a couple of seasons to get it right.
I agree. And they have to make sure that they handle it with care and all that.
Yeah, and it's not about putting every detail, like, you don't need to put every time Morgana takes a shit on Ryuji, but more so, like, making sure you're properly adapting all the plot points and all the character arcs that are properly happening, and you're not rushing shit, like, imagine this. Imagine Persona 5 was a 12-episode anime. You pretty much eat up majority of those 12 episodes with all the party members' character arcs. And there's like 5 or 6 of them or 8 of them. So by the end of episode 8, you need to figure out what the hell you're gonna do with those remaining 4 episodes.
Definitely.
And you and I know and those remaining 4 episodes isn't gonna be, oh, let's go take down this guy and oh, we're done, you know. And A1 Pictures has a habit. A1 Pictures does give seasons 2, but they really give seasons 2s out unless it's a major big money maker like Sword Art Online. So you know, but that adapted Sword Art Online, if you have heard, is really bad as well. You know, A1 Pictures is extremely terrible at adapting in general, but just like when it comes to not only game anime, they're very bad. But the biggest issue here is that they don't take time and put effort into focusing on everything. They just like to outsource everything so they can keep pumping out anime, which is very bad. So I know everybody's excited for the Persona 5 anime. I'm not personally because I know it's not going to be very good.
Oh yeah.
So, that's why I got really upset with Alice being cheap. And as I told you with the animation in Persona 4, in Persona 5, Dancing on Night, you know, 3 and 5, I think the animations are really bad. Look, currently are not very good or okay so far. So I don't really. So I feel like why is it that once Alice gets done with the main games, they get really lazy and cheap. And that since they're a media darling, they're not going to get called out for it by the game media or the fans, so they can seem like they think they can get away with it. I know I sometimes will ramble and wonder on points, but that's basically what I want to get you of what I thought of Atlas as a company. But I think you got the gist of it though, right?
I did actually. Yes.
Hot and cold, but it seems like once they get the cold era is like once they get out of the mainline games, they start just doing a bunch of really stupid things. I mean,
Definitely.
the musical. I mean, people be like, "Well, what about the live performances?" Well, the live performances. How it's very hard to fuck up a live performances of the music you make for your damn game. Just gonna say that.
Oh yeah. And how do you feel about Persona 5 when compared to other RPGs? Do you find it to be better than them or not?
Yeah, yes, I do actually find them to be better.
Hmm. Uh,
And the reason why I find them to be better, trust me, this won't be as long as the other two. But the reason why I find them to be better is just the amount of attention to detail and quality they put into all the animations, how stylish it looks, and how everything around you feels alive, and how everything is so well detailed. The amount of detail they put into it is something I have not seen in a while. Like you have to go to a Final Fantasy game to compare that level of detail to Persona 5 to with Persona 5, because usually there's one thing they Persona 5 did with a stereotype with JRPGs is that a lot of JRPGs are made on a very low budget. They're very cheaply made. Granted, Neptune, some of these games get really popular. I haven't mentioned Neptune yet, and not all these games that are made on a low budget are really bad. Like the Sky has a specific art style, and some people feel like, if you ever play the Sky, people feel like, oh, the Sky does not have pretty HD graphics. It still looks like a PS1 game. I'm like, but that's a specific art style, and the Sky perfected that art style. And the Sky was a game that was made on a very low budget at first, but the budget got bigger and bigger as the series went on. So just because these RPGs are on low budgets doesn't mean they're necessarily bad, but most times they're not very good. There's some series out there that had low budgets that are taking off now and are pretty high quality. I wouldn't say high quality, but I'm not gonna bring up like stuff like Dragon Warrior or Dragon Quest because Dragon Quest has been around since the fucking '80s and they have fucking money for days, so they can do whatever the fuck they want practically
Akira
with that.
Toriyama's property, along with Square Enix's property, correct?
Yep, so yeah, and Dragon Quest games aren't fucking cheaply made. I tell you that right now, they're
Except
not.
for Dragon Quest Heroes and Dragon Quest Heroes 2.
I haven't played those games, but they look
Fun
fun.
game. They're fun, just
You know,
not the best.
Another Tales games are another one, but Tales games have perfected their series as well. But even when they started, you can see how it can be a little bit on the cheap side.
Hmm.
As kids kind of say the same 5 lines over again. They don't look the games graphically. I know because I'm a bunch of Tales fans. I never played a Tales game. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. I played Tales of Grace's F on PS3, and I love that game. But
I'm glad.
I've seen the PS2 ones, and I want to play them, but they look extremely cheap. But I feel the major thing about Persona 5 is that it really, really isn't a cheap game. It isn't really a cheap game, and I'm happy about that.
Hmm. It's really good. Definitely. And of course, this leads to the discussion about the pros and cons to the overall gameplay of Persona 5.
Well,
What are some of those pros and cons? We'll start with the pros.
uh, well, I will say that I have not finished the game yet, but don't worry. I'm at the second to last boss, so I know the whole entire story practically. I need to fight the final boss and I'll be done with it. But I know what happens and everything like that. So I'm fair enough. I think I can give a fair sense of the game. I just been lazy about finishing it. But pros graphically it is beautiful. The art direction is excellent. The art is really amazing. The animated cutscenes are excellent. I'm not a big graphics source, so the setup with graphics here is really impressive. The story is actually fucking dark for once. Hip hip fucking hooray, and and it's a very well paced story that spreads its jokes out and really thinks about everything that it does. You know.
Yes, it does, including with a lot of depth to the characters,
Yeah,
including how
there's a
some
lot of
people
depth
will
to
feel.
characters, and and people feel like the villains, they feel like the villains are kind of throwaway. I would disagree heavily. I would highly disagree with that. I feel the villains really play their role, and they're really good. And I know they're based off the seven deadly sins. And usually when I hear this, it's kind of like the lazy way to write villains. But here they actually did a good job with using them, and they actually expanded on it, and not just say this guy's vanity, this guy's greed, this person's lust, this person's is
Okay, so basically it did a much better job than Dead Rising 3 did with its psychopaths.
comparison actually.
That's
Yeah, so yeah, so that's actually really good. They really take their time and really do a lot of research on it,
uh-huh.
research on them, and they really expand on the characters. So where they more so feel like characters than oh this guy's lust, this guy's vanity, this lady's this and this lady's that,
Uh-huh.
which is good. Really well spaced out. Really well spaced out, well paced story, and I enjoy it from start to finish, and I really like it.
Right, but we're talking about the gameplay here in
Now
terms of
the gameplay. I will get to the gameplay in a second because the gameplay is where I have a lot to say. That's the reason why I'm saving for last.
okay.
Sound direction, sound design is really strong in this game. Really like it. The English dub, while not as good as Persona 3, and people complain about the mispronunciations, a little story about that. Apparently, the Japanese voice director didn't like how they were actually saying the names correctly, like because the voice actors were actually saying, Sakamoto, Kisayami, and Takimaki. That's how they're supposed to be said. The voice director didn't like how they were actually saying them, so he actually wanted them to say them differently. And apparently, test audiences didn't actually like it that they actually said the names correctly, which is really fucking ironic because they were fine with Persona 3 and 4, but they apparently have a problem with Persona 5.
I
I
don't
don't.
understand that because quite frankly, when I played it and the fact that it's said correctly and they're bitching that it's said correctly is stupid as fuck. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and it's being said correctly, and some voice actors say it badly. I can see that there was a little bit of a fumble during the voice recordings, and they could have fixed that here or there. They could have fixed that, but I can understand. You can easily patch that in if you really want to, but I can understand not really fixing it. But I can see the voice director. People feel like they blame the voice director, the English voice director, for this, but I can see how it's a very difficult job because you're pretty much fumbling pronunciations in your fucking head. But your main job is to make sure the voice actors are making sure they're staying on track and they're articulating emotions, not focus on how to say a damn name correctly.
Yes,
You,
definitely.
you know, and this type of voice direction it can be excused because it's not a language situation like it is in Heavy Rain where some voice actors say origami when it's actually origami.
hmm
Where
The
that's what
origami killer is at large.
No, origami. Sorry, Ethan Mars is the origami killer.
I know, but I'm just like doing Scott Shelby's voice. Don't you understand? We have to find the origami killer.
Yeah, I know. So there's that. The voice acting, but the English voice acting itself, the performances themselves are really excellent. I will say that one character, I wouldn't say she's personally bad, but she's done by a very young voice actor. She did a good job. Some people would really give her a lot of credit, but I felt that maybe she was a little bit in over her head in the role. But I will say that she did a good job. I'm not gonna say she's bad, but she did a good job. We'll say that,
Yeah.
But I feel that it could have been a little bit better, I'll compare her performance to Megan. I want to compare it to Harley because she's actually compared to the person who played Harley Quinn in the movie. she actually did a good job. But this person, you have seen her at conventions. She's very interactive. You know who I'm talking about. She just recently crashed a photo shoot at MissouriCon, and she also did an anime expo. This person is very, very sociable. Highly recommend it. You should get her on the show because she's very sociable as well.
Mm.
Um, but overall, the performances were very good. Consensus wise, people love Matthew Mercer as Yusuke. That's the consensus. Personally, I'm a huge fan of Erica Helecker's performance as An.
Harlicker.
Yeah, it was yeah, Hollaker. Yeah, I didn't say her name. Erica, I think she does an excellent job. Erica and Cassandra Lee Morrison are my have I feel like do the best job. I mean, everyone does a great job, but I feel like they really shine. With Yusuke taking a close third. Into the realm of like, as you know, there's a lot of voice dialogue in this game. There's a lot of voices in this game. If I had to pick one, I would have to say that what would I would say? Not I. It's not. I wouldn't. DC Douglas did a good job as the first villain. As you know, that's Kamoshida. But I would argue that my favorite non-playable character voice actor in this game would be either. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say Tay. You know her, the doctor Tay,
T-
and
Tay. I thought it was Ty.
oh
Okay,
yeah,
Tay.
sorry, yeah, Ty. Sorry, it's Ty. Yeah, sorry, it's Ty.
Okay, it's Tae. So it is that pronounced Tay or Ty?
No, yeah, it's Tay. Sorry, yeah, it is Tay.
Tay Takami.
Yeah, Tay. And you know Tay and Psy. You already seen Psy before, so you already know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Yeah, Psy. Um, there's a lot of quotable lines in the game. Like you'll hear this one line. I'm not gonna tell you who says it, but when you hear it, you're gonna love it. Lead the news and let's go. Lead the news and let's go. My other favorite line is oh, she's a cougar. You already may have heard that line.
Yep.
My the one is doing Kamoshida's boss fight. We got to keep attacking Kamoshida, so keep him busy. You know, I really like that line because I feel Cassandra Lee Morris really hits that line as Morgana in that situation. It's really good. So there's a lot of quotable lines. There's a lot of quotable dialogue in the game. You know, so overall the voice acting, the English dub is good. It's not on Persona 3 level, but it's very good, and I look forward to meeting multiple of these voice actors at conventions. Erica is very talkative on Twitter. You follow her anytime too, by the way. I really suggest talking to Erica. She's very fun to talk to. But moving on to now what you want to know, the gameplay. The gameplay is fucking phenomenal. It's well. Now I wouldn't say only it's well paced, but you really getting sucked into it, and it's just really fast paced. And I really love the pacing of the game and just how quick battles go and how smooth battles are. And you have the baton pass, you have all these little abilities, you have the follow-up attacks that are good. Stuff that's been established, but you now have the baton attacks, you have demon negotiation, and you have the hostage situation as well. It's really interactive, it's really into it. The guns are really cool, and you really can really set up some nice combos. There's really lots of strategy actually, so it's great. So I'm not disappointed at all with what they have done
Yeah.
with the gameplay. I'm really happy. The confidants, they give you special abilities, as I said earlier. So I'm happy the confidants are actually involved with the gameplay more, which is good. So I really like it. I really like it. How they did that. How they did the gameplay. Gameplay is, in my opinion, some of the best in the series.
Yes. And
And he was gonna be asking, why you put Persona 3 over 5? Because better English dub and what was it? Better English dub, and overall, I just had more fun with that game.
Yes, characters, gameplay, dungeons, all that.
Yeah. There's more fun in the better English dub. I mean, you find someone that can match Terra Platinum, Saru, and Elizabeth, and give me a call because
There
Terra
is, however, one complaint about the dialogue where you can't skip all of it and you can actually miss some details, right?
you can if you overpress things like that and everything like that. Now with some cons, if I had to be honest, I would say the game's a little bit restrictive at times. of at night, and until you get to like this with one social link, and until you like unlock a certain amount of ranks with it, your nights really are very restrictive. Very restrictive, and once you you finish, let's say you finish a boss early, you have a lot of days left over, and Morgana's like, let's not do that. It's like very meme worthy, but it gets really annoying to where
I hate
you're
that part.
wasting, you're wasting time. Yeah, you can make memes about it, but it's actually very rigged. It's very rigged, and I wish that um moving forward, that why I like the day structure and everything like that. The day structure is cool and all. I wish they would make it less structured and just kind of make the game more so open world.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand you go with what works, but here I feel like you're pushing it a bit,
Oh
and
yeah.
they made it easier to get max everything. Like there's a way to get max on your first run of the game, and they made it easier. So I'm like, well, if you made it easier to get everything max, why exactly would you have the day structure anyway? You can still have time to go by, but you could and you can have certain like no points or no returns, but you shouldn't make days so rigid and make it to where time sections and time things and time pass if you do one activity. Maybe may have time pass more naturally, more so within a day, so you can get so people can get more out of the game.
Yeah. The time
So
restrictions can annoy things, and I've experienced that a lot in the game. I think it's annoying.
yeah, yeah, I feel like you need to they need to fix that moving forward. Like you can make the game open world, you can say it still takes place over a couple of months, but you can still say this month, that month. But Tokyo Mirage Session is the perfect example of that. Like once you beat a chapter, you can just go do side content until you want to move the plot forward. You can do that, and you can have time pass. You don't so you don't need to try to make the time passing so rigid.
Yes. And what I can tell you based on from my playthrough, I pretty much overshot it when I went to fight Kamishita because I did everything I could to get to level 10 before going in to kick his ass.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I wanted to do it because I had no idea how strong he was. I didn't look at any guides, nothing. But I'll tell you what I did do. I did, of course, the same thing I always do: get everyone the right types of armor and such, and do a lot of grinding in his palace. This is before I got to Mementos, sorry. I always think of the Mentos gum, though, when I hear the word, though.
Yeah, same here. Actually, that's actually what I would think of too.
Mentos, the Dungeon Maker. Just imagine it. It'd be perfect.
And no,
It's a meme waiting to happen.
I'll give you the spokesperson for it. That'd be freaking perfect.
Yeah, I know.
But
Uh,
all right, go on, sir.
yes, I'm thinking what else? Something else that I've done. Like I said, of course, I got the armor, the weapons. I upgraded them. I grinded like hell. I sold shit that sucks. And basically, I'm trying to upgrade my guts a lot now. So yeah.
Yeah, I understand. So it can be
Also,
restrictive.
I got used to the social links. You know what I do like about it though? Even though they're available after a certain date,
Uh huh.
I like that because there's no complete time restriction for that, I don't think. Or
Yeah, it's best that you start them on a day that they become available because you get an easy rank one.
correct. But here's the thing, I did start them at a later time and still eventually got better, you see?
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
get me
yeah.
wrong,
That's
I'm
good.
building it up rather quickly and I'm going to keep going.
That's good. The
Um
comics are really good. I plan to go for a max everything with Japanese voice acting. Next game. With my next run. I did play the game. I didn't play the game in Japanese. I played the game in English for the first time too. I played the game in English. I do have plans to play it in Japanese, but I have heard a good amount of Japanese because I follow a Pacific Twitch streamer who speedruns Persona games. He plays the Japanese version of Persona 5, like not actually the Japanese dub, but like, no, he actually plays the Japanese version itself. So I've heard a lot of the voice acting. If you didn't know this, I knew this actually. Persona 5 had a very all-star studded cast according to a lot of people who are really in the know about Japanese voice acting, who the best, who's the best, who's not.
Seiyus. Yeah, the best Seiyus.
the best seiyus. They said they were really great. I heard a lot of it. I really heard a decent amount of it though. And if there's one thing that really has disappointed me, is that the Japanese voice acting Persona 4 is so woefully mediocre and lackluster. It's very phoned in, it's very lazy, it's always somewhat cringy at some points as well, where they really try to speak English when they didn't need to speak English. And certain lines that are supposed to be a different way in English get really screwed up in Japanese because, for example, when you hear Ryuji, he says, thanks. In Japanese, when you hit him, he's like, thank you. I was like, oh Lord, that's annoying. By the way, if
Yeah,
he's
I
in
know,
your
right?
entire game, I hope I didn't blow your ears out, but
You
he
didn't.
says, thank you. For An, he's like, go Carmen, dance Carmen when she does her attacks.
Yeah.
Go Carmen, dance Carmen when she does her attacks. In Japanese, someone thought it would be cool to say, get ready. I'm like, oh my god.
Well, let's not let that bother us.
Yeah, but overall, the Japanese voice acting outside of like
Right.
Morgana is really, really a letdown. And the sad thing is, I actually know who he told me about. I actually know who they are, and I like a lot of the shows that they were in. So I was really disappointed in them because I felt that the Japanese voice cast for Persona 5 could do better.
Right. And when it comes to the strategy of the game, generally it's pretty easy. Just you have to save a lot of SP, basically.
Yeah. Saving SP is very crucial. Would you like to ask about the fusions in the game? I know you are.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
before we
you,
do that, I want to know about one thing. Are there any time restrictions in the other games?
hold on, be exact. You mean Persona games, right?
Yes, Persona games. That's what I meant. Sorry.
Okay. Persona 3, yes. Persona 4, yes. Persona 1, no. Persona 2, Innocent Sins, no. Persona 2, Internal Punishment, no. The reason why they don't have any time restrictions is because they're more so structured as dungeon crawlers. Like, you have dungeons in the game, actually. And, well, yeah, you have dungeons and palaces in Persona 4, 3, 4, and 5. Like, you have a real dungeon that, you can finish, you can leave whenever you want, you can finish whenever you want, and once you finish it, you can go and progress the story. If not, you can go do something else.
Right. And moving on to one thing, the SP items. One thing that I know I'm going to do, and I figured this out at some point because I do want to get back to playing Persona 5, but I have gotten Yakuza 0 way before that, and I want to
Oh,
get a lot
oh,
of parts of that done
yes, I
because
know, I understand that, but go on.
but yes. And the thing I want to know is aside from getting Takami's, the clinical doctor, aside from getting Takami's rank all the way up to I guess 6, she'll get SP items. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, cool. That's what I'm going for because I believe I'm on number level
Dude,
5.
just max it. Don't go for that. No, max that damn thing. It's very important.
Of
It
course.
apparently it's actually maxed for the speed run, and apparently if you actually max that, some people say Morgana is actually pretty much worthless for the rest of the game if you max the
No,
Defacana.
no, no, no. I'm not saying I'm not going to do it. I'm saying I want to at least get to that portion first. I'm going to max it. Of course I am.
All right.
I'm going to max everything. However, this also leads me to the next portion. How useful, well, not useful, but how important is it to use Persona Fusion? I mean, I know I have to use it, and I'm trying to get the skill Frey with this one persona that I have. It's what they ask for you in the first time
Well,
you actually get the Strength Arcana. You know what I'm
yeah.
talking about, right?
Yes, I do. I forgot to mention how good the fusion system is in this game,
Yes, let's
but
talk about
but
that.
I can now mention it here. First of all, they really heavily improved fusion. It's not just put these two together and hope to God that the skills you want to carry over. It's a lot more streamlined. You can pick what you want, but you have certain limits to what skills you can add. You have like whatever, how many ever empty skill slots that demon not demon that persona has. That's how many skills you can fill it up with. But you have the execution, you have the skill cards, you have many ways to get items and things like that to help skills carry over, which is really nice in this game. But the big thing you can get is if you max out the strength arcana. It's not really much of a spoiler, but if you max it out, you're able to uh, put personas in jail and have them work on their weaknesses and whatever they weak to. At rank 8 or 9, they build a resistance to it, so you take less damage from it. But if you have it all maxed, any weakness they have will become null.
Oh
But
my
one
god.
but one thing about that, about when you put them in jail, you can't forget them. If you do, they will die. And also, by the way, depending on where you have your other confidants at or your social links at, with personas of their ikanas, it depends on how fast they learn that resistance. If it's max, it takes at least a day. It takes at least a day or two. If it's like 1 or 2, your ass waiting for at least 2 weeks.
Hmm. Right. And
But
considering
it is extremely useful, especially in Persona 5, with how not only have they made it streamlined, but just how they made it not a dice roll of what skills will carry over.
I understand, is definitely good to consider. And one character that you have pointed out to me when we were talking about this at some point was you mentioned that Yusuke is not that best to use until much later in the game, but what about his evasion and speed? Isn't that also going to be pretty useful to make us quicker to evade attacks, or
So
does it only work for him?
the reason why it's not really useful early game is because you really don't have anything really hitting you for big damage, and some of these enemies throw out attacks that miss a lot anyway, and you can get your speed up, but really defense up is the way to go. Makoto's better on early game. Late game, she's still pretty useful, but when her with her being the master of jack of all trades, master of none type character archetype, you kind of hit a wall with the character to where she's only good at one thing, which is defense up. I think she's a really good character actually, but she hits a wall. Like, she only has enough magic to just be all right. She only has enough strength to just be all right. She has good healing, but good enough healing to actually be on par. Like, she's on par with healer with healing actually, but you're already using your SP to defense up. So why would you use her as a healer unless you rather save the SP you're using with it with Morgana and An?
Oh yeah, you
You
definitely
know,
want to conserve SP, so I can see what you're saying.
yeah. Even Haru has backup healing traits as well. I would think they maybe kind of went a little bit overboard with how many characters can heal in this game. I feel like you could have just had 3 and that's it. Like the healing skills are welcome from Makoto, but if you get rid of those healing skills and you add maybe a couple more nuclear attacks or a few more physical attacks, she becomes a better character for it, in my opinion.
Hmm, I get you. And of course, we move on to this next question. What?
By the way, hold on. You have gotten past her awakening already, right?
Wait, who?
Makoto's awakening. Have you gotten past her awakening already?
Not yet.
Damn it. Well, I didn't really spoil anything. You obviously know she's gonna join the team, but yeah, that's really her. But that's pretty much a summary on Makoto. She's a good character you can use for down near the end game, but just keep that in mind. But go on.
Right. All right. Now for the next part. That of course, a thought just occurred to me as me and my friends were also playing the game, um, Persona 5. All right. Do you think experimentation is a good idea when playing Persona 5, just like with
Yo,
other RPGs?
your ass better be saving like a bitch if you're gonna do this shit. But yes, it's a good idea. Also, it's highly recommended you use the fusion calculator. No, it's not cheating, but it's a very good resource. So for any Persona game or SMT game you're playing, actually, all you have to do is to specify, and it will show you anything you want. How much it costs to get these two Persona together to fuse this Persona, what fuses with what persona, what skills does this persona, what skills does this persona learn
It
if you go ahead and level them up and give them all their skills.
okay. It's called a fusion calculator.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm guessing you already have access to it when you go to the Velvet Room.
No, Fusion Calculator is a fan website that fans of the S&T Persona games made. It's not in the Velvet Room.
Oh, okay. Hold on a second. Okay. All right, awesome. Okay, now for the next one. Uh, that's definitely something, and also with finding out which personas make good fusions, and based on what you've played, what do you think are the most useful and not useful social links in Persona 5? Is well, specifically the spirits and the social links. You know, the ones that
Uh,
you
you want to tell you what are the best personas to use and what are the worst personas?
yes,
All right. I'll do personas first, then we do social links or confidants,
yeah,
whatever. But okay, best personas. Black Frost, he's really good in this game. This time around, King Frost, if you really want to use him as well, King Frost is also pretty good. But Black Frost, Trumpeter. You have Mara. You have uh, I forgot this one writer. He's also really good. Um, but these are always some of my favorite characters, the favorites to go to. Seth is amazing. Seth is really good as well.
Seth
Uh, yeah,
with a C.
no S.
Oh, right. Okay, I'm just making sure.
Yeah, those are persona overall that will really help you, throughout the game. There's a point where you start getting really high power personas, and you can start actually keeping some and not having to always constantly level up, level up, level up. You know. Um, Yeah, yeah, those are some that I know off the top of my head. Pretty much any of the personas in the 70s and the 80s range. There's one you should avoid that has a bunch of weaknesses. Uh, Dionysius is pretty good too. Yeah, yeah, that's his name, Dionysius. He's really good. Not someone that's a world beater. Four's pretty good. I forgot the other persona's name, but yeah, you have yourself a good amount of personas that are useful in my uh, honest opinion.
Hmm.
But the worst personas, I keep on forgetting their damn names. But things that have multiples of weakness, if they have more than one weakness, they're pretty much not good, and you stay away from them. You know, uh, so yeah, that's pretty much what I would sum up. Because you really picking worst persona, you can't really pick out anything. I will say that I think Zeno Gessi, I think he's in this game. He's a strength. I don't know if he's in the. Yeah, he's in this game. He's really bad. He's like what level 80 or 90, but he has so many damn weaknesses and he's so freaking weak. He's like weak to like really common shit. So I'm like, why would you even have this persona at level 90? He's really bad. Do not get him. Do not get him under any circumstances. He's really bad, but you gotta. It really comes to subjective of what is the worst persona, because I can tell you Jack Frost is the worst persona, but he's a early game persona that you're supposed to use to help you get to King Frost and Black Frost. So why would you even call Jack Frost bad?
Oh, I didn't. I got him.
No, 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 and not you, but I'm saying like in general. Why would you even call him bad to begin with?
Good question. I mean, he's definitely useful.
Yeah,
Strong too.
yeah, but not just for a little while. Not when you're fighting the final boss.
Yeah, it's true. I did beat Madarame. He was not that hard.
Yeah, nah. I just realized
However,
I
he
nearly got him in once. Then I reset it. And I reset it. I'm like, oh, all I have to do is this. I also realized this is also where I put Yosuke ass on the fucking bench, where he stayed for most of the game until I brought him back out for around, yeah, after the last character arc you go through. I brought him back, and he's really in there. He's really being useful now.
awesome.
Oof, that was fun. Um, so there's not much. Now, on to the social links. Most useful is Tay. Uh, let's see. I'm not gonna say this girl's name because it's a spoiler. Hers is pretty useful. What was another one I used a lot that was great. That really was helpful. Um, I'm gonna say not. No, 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 no.
Is it
Uh,
is that other girl you were gonna mention Futaba?
uh Yeah, Futaba's another one I would mention. Futaba's another one.
I know who she is. She is the let me guess. The daughter to what was that guy's name?
No, he's not the dog. They're not related. Actually, he's just as her guardian. That's not much of a spoiler. That's kind of just like common sense, in my opinion. But that's
Forgot
just
what was his name again?
Shinjiro or Sakura,
So- Sojiro.
Sojiro or Sakura,
Yeah,
whichever one.
him. Yes, there he is. That's the one.
Yeah. But you got that. What was it? There was another social thing that was good. The politician
Yeah, him.
is
That, I was about to say him actually.
I forgot his damn name, but
Tora.
yeah, Tora is great. And that's about it in my experience with what I have gotten. Um, yeah, that's what. Yeah. Oh wait, there's one more. The Star Arcana is really good as well. The Star and Moon Arcana as well. Which is I forgot that dude's name. The guy part of the Moon Arcana, and I think her name is
The Hangman.
no,
Isn't
not.
he useful as well?
He's all right. He's not really that great, but
House. Oh, I mean, oh wait. Just what about the
because
benefits that you get?
gun customization is fucking pointless. And there's the kid and there's a kid in you and there the tower arcana is better because it actually improves your ability and damage with the guns, not just oh look you can put a freaking scope on a gun, yay. You know, but yeah, those are all the useful ones. The worst one is Devil and Hangman. Those two are pretty useless.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what I would say. I can't wait to finish the game up so I can start it again because I have plans to play it again before school starts. But yeah, that's everything. Overall, I love the game and I plan to have my copy signed by the voice actors. Um, Thankfully, I have a copy, so the Japanese voice actors won't be like, "I won't sign fan art." I'm like, "Yo, ass about to sign this damn copy of this game. You ass better and you better accept it." I have plans to have everybody from the English cast sign it, but the only one I want from the Japanese cast to sign it is Morgana,
Hmm.
and that's because she's Pikachu. Everybody else, they're not worth it. Because I feel as I told you, I was extremely disappointed because I'm a fan of their work of their previous work, and I felt like they really didn't take Persona 5 serious like the English dubcast did.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I know it's gonna piss off a lot of people, but but a lot of people, as someone who watches a lot of anime and sub and dub as well, I can know when someone's phoning it in. You know.
Same.
So they just kind of showed up here's my paycheck, let's go. That's why the game sold more in America than it did in Japan.
Oh yeah. There's more care put into it.
Yeah, yeah, but that's just what I've noticed. Yeah, really props to Alice for having the budget to get those people because the people they got are extremely expensive. But I would next time just get people. I would get people who care more about the character than who they are. And I know people tell me, oh well, they use the voice actors to sell you the products in Japan. I get that, but I can tell you right now that that's not a good way. But if they're not good, then you're pretty much gonna have a very dissatisfied fan. A lot of people will try to tell you the Japanese better, the sub is better, the sub is better, just because they now can compare. Which anybody, but when in reality, it's actually really bad. Like it's really bad. But that's really one of my major complaints with the game is the Japanese voice. And I'm gonna be able to listen to more of it as I'm gonna not be playing the game in Japanese. But I've heard a good chunk of it. So I'm not gonna be getting surprised by anything, but I'll see what they do, and see if there's something that I missed.
Of
But
course. Look at everything in scope.
yeah. But yeah, that's everything I would like to say. Are there any other questions you'd like to ask me regarding the game? Like, who's my least favorite character? Is my favorite character, or what?
Okay, well, we'll start with the protagonist first.
Oh, you want me to? Oh, you want me to do the same thing I did with Persona 4? All right, well, why
Well,
not?
no, yeah, I may as well because the main topic is Persona 5.
Okay.
Okay,
Uh,
favorite protagonists and least favorites.
oh wait, so you just want to tell me who's my favorite protagonist in the series?
Uh, yeah, we'll talk. Okay, just favorite characters in general, whether protagonists or not.
All right. You want to go by the Persona or just Persona 5?
Persona 5, because we already
Okay.
covered 4
Yeah. All right
in
then.
large scope, thanks to
Yeah.
you.
All right.
And it's
Yeah.
good. It's good. I'm
I'm
just
glad you didn't ask me. I'm glad I didn't start going on about why 3 is so great. Oh Lord, I wouldn't have. I would have been
no, no, no,
hard.
no, no, no.
But
5. We need to
but
continue with
five.
5.
Okay, five. Here's five. All right. Favorite character in 5 is An.
Hmm.
Um, what I liked about An the most is just her personality. Some people some people get in the waifu wars. Oh, that she's that oh hole over there. Oh, she learns about overcoming her body and everything like that, and not whoring herself out. But then she's using her body to get information out of Yusuke. When in reality, no, she's not. She's actually just using her woman's intuition, and is just trying to get into the room. So An's a really smart character, and she never whores herself out, which I really like about her. Uh,
Same.
I what I also like about her is her body confidence. It's not that she wears skimpy clothes. It's just that I like how she really just does not care and she wears what she wants. And she doesn't make and they only make one little joke like, "Oh, this is too revealing," and then after that she's like, "Well, it's whatever. It's what I wear."
Yes. However, she did have some sexual relations. Was it with Kamoshida or was it Makoto?
Yeah, no, it's Kamoshida.
Yeah, she did. And she only did it because to save her friend
Yeah,
from his horrible treatment as he caused her to try and kill herself.
yeah.
Spoilers, I know, but
Well, no, but my friend Joseph, one of my friends, he thinks it alludes to pretty much Kamoshida raping her friend Shiho, but I don't want to go that far, but I can the pieces are there. The pieces are there. Let's say that.
yep.
There's some evidence there, So I really like how I need to do her socials to figure out more about her. But what I did learn about her is how she really, really gets behind the strong and powerful female characters that are sexy and powerful. And she talked about in her social, she talked about how she would watch this one show as a kid, Saturday morning cartoon, and she said that she really really liked that the villain. She was a woman, but she always liked that even though she lost, but she was sexy and powerful, and I always wanted to root for her because she was so pretty, So she's a person who really understands, I think, sexuality and understands being loving your body and loving yourself. So that's what I really like about that character.
Awesome.
Uh, Second favorite, close favorite has to be. It's a tough one because I really like Makoto, really like Futaba, really like Haru. I also really like Yusuke. But I have to say Morgana. But this goes back. Remember how I told you Erica Halecker and Cassandra Morris had the best performances in the dub? Remember I said that?
Yep.
Their performances is why I like this character so much. Erica does a great job as Anna, obviously, showing her range of emotions and really conveying the character who really changes. But what I liked about Cassandra Morris is that this is obviously her best work she's ever done in her career. Really, really nice voice. She's been always a decent voice actor, but she really showed me her chops, her sarcasm, her snarkiness, her wittiness, and and really conveys this character and the dialogue that Morgana has. Yes, Morgana takes a shit on Ryuji the whole entire time, but it's so fucking funny.
Yes,
Morgana's
it
so
is.
funny. He's always hitting with the jokes. He's not trying to be comic relief. He's very serious, but he's just so fucking snarky and it's so freaking brilliant.
Same, and he's one of my favorites, Ryuji. I like Morgana just as much, and
Yeah.
On just as much, but one of my favorites that is a bit more higher up is Ryuji because I can relate to him somewhat.
Okay. My least favorite of the cast, even though I think the voice actor, I always forget his damn name. Yeah, Matthew Middleton did an amazing job as Ryuji. Ryuji, he's actually the least popular character in Japan, but Ryuji, like, my God, he's so in and out. He's the butt monkey of the storyline. He gets shit on constantly. Yeah, but then he say something. He say something smart, but then he does a lot of stupid things like shouting that they're the Phantom Thieves. He really goes out of his way to blow your fucking cover, and it's really annoying. You
It
know,
actually makes him funny as well. I was like,
yeah,
you
and some
idiot! But that's
does. But in the current arc you did, his stupid loud mouth got your ass is looking for a freaking dangerous ass criminal because Grease just know how to shut the fuck up.
that's true.
So it's just that and I understand someone says he's the bruiser, but I'm like, even though you're the bruiser, you're playing since you brought up the Kuzero, this is a perfect example. You play as Mashima, who's also pretty much pinned as the bruiser in the Yakuza series. He doesn't do what Ryuji does. You don't shout that you're in the building. You just walk up and beat the shit out of people, and at least Kanji had that. But what makes Ryuji better than Kanji, in my opinion, is that Ryuji has a fully realized character, and he's not just always yelling at people. And so I'm not gonna say he's a horrible character, but when it comes to everybody else, he kind of gets left behind.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I still like him regardless, but you know,
You know, but yeah, that's how I feel about about that. Overall, I love the cast, easily on par with the Persona 3 cast. But you obviously I already explained why. If you want me to go into Persona 3 and talk about that, then yeah, sure, why not? But I think I have said enough regarding
well,
Persona 5. I think
you've said enough about Persona 3 because I have not played it, but
yeah,
it's
I
fine
read
because I love to learn, and I know it's a good game. I may
yeah,
play that. I'm not sure.
but I really love it. I would want to bring up that there was one thing about Alex I did forget bring up as a company. The streaming deadline they had, like the streaming recording, like, oh, you can't record a stream past that date. Like it was first in eight, you can't record past eight, you can't stream slash record past April. Now it's like, oh, you can't stream slash record past November. you know. And to my knowledge, it's still in place. Atlas hasn't officially lifted that, but that's one thing you need to keep in mind. That's for Atlas of Japan, but it's not a good look for the company because Atlas USA understands the value of streaming and recording and sharing gameplay footage, but Atlas of Japan doesn't get that, and some people nearly lost their accounts over it, but it hasn't been that gravity. There's obviously people who have passed that date and his full playthroughs of it uploaded. So it was kind of like a weak fret, but still, I don't think it was a good idea, and it kind of caused a rift between them and the fans when it shouldn't have been causing a rift.
I know, it shouldn't have. I think that was really stupid. I mean, think about this. They're uploading this. They don't if they're uploading these videos, right? That
Uh-huh.
of the game, right? Then and they're doing it under fair use and it's not monetized, then they're fine. But if it is monetized, then they should take action. I mean,
Yeah,
that's when they should take action. Whether they're trying to make money off of that without their permission.
yeah, but not Persona, but not not only fair use, but with Persona. I lost my train of thought. Damn it. I lost my train of thought, but
5.
yeah, Persona 5. Yeah, that was really stupid of them to do, and I hope they don't do it again because it really caused a rift, and people just what have found ways around it, obviously, and I'm just like, you shouldn't have agitated them, in the first place, Atlas. And oh yeah, now I'm about to remember, to this day, people really go out their way not to spoil Undertale to people. Not only is it because Undertale is a fantastic game, and you're like, well, why am I bringing up Undertale here? The reason why I'm bringing up Undertale is because Toby Fox lets people do whatever the hell they want, and just lets them upload the game. So, and to this day, you have people who are very very stickler about not spoiling Undertale.
Yep.
So like they really tell you to play the game for yourself. I even was told that when I was a part of an Undertale group on Facebook when I was playing through it my first time, like, play the game yourself. Hey, what happens if I like, no, play the game yourself. Every people always kept on telling me. So I felt like if Atlas presented themselves as more so similar to Toby Fox, where he didn't give a shit if people uploaded full playthroughs of the game, and instead enjoy the game and talk about it among yourselves, If Alice just said, you know what, do what you want to do, it's for whatever, then people can still talk about it and everything like that.
Hmm.
We still have arguments and fights actually. Like there was actually in the Persona 5 group right now, they have a problem with dealing with spoilers. Where a lot of people have been leaving the group because people just kind of spoil shit randomly and people get pissed actually because of it. Because no, they don't put spoiler tags and warnings of it. And the reason why that happened is because Atlas has said, well, we're gonna crack down on spoilers, and assholes and trolls are gonna be like, well, challenge accepted, motherfucker. So you're gonna have people run around and try to spoil everything for you.
Hmm. Well, I won't add too many spoilers or spoilers at all because, like I said, it's still all a surprise to me, and regardless of whether I'm spoiled on something or not, I'll find out. But anyway,
Yeah.
it'll all go well. Now, I think that pretty much brings the closure to this whole thing because we practically covered all the bases. And for those who want to find out more information about Persona 5 and the Persona series in general, there are links in the description below.
Yes, really, really pivotal that you check it out. We got
Now,
three new games. We got three new games coming up. I may not be excited for them, but a lot of people are. Don't let my opinion be the end all be all. People, just go
yes.
out there and have fun. And if you like them, you like them. If you hate them, you hate them. It's whatever. I will be getting. I want to announce this though. I will be getting Persona 3 and 5 Dancing All Night because there's no story mode. So that actually made me want to buy them now.
Of course. Well, I'm gonna take a look at the music and see if it's worth it because if you have a rhythm game and it has good music, I mean, usually that's what I'm gonna be looking for more of. But I'm certain that it's something I might actually end up playing just for lulz. But I don't know. It's gonna take some time. But yeah.
All right then, guys. See you later.
All right, later. Thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you all in the next videos. Stay batty, my friends, and don't forget to subscribe.